Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Especially if you're hanging out waiting in the chat before I even go live. Thank you guys so much for being here, for coming to hang out. We are going to get on a boat and we're going to go over to Darkshore. And the boat to Darkshore just left, so yeah, we'll buckle in for a little bit. We can't even fish here because we don't have sufficient fishing skills. HitGirl86, I am back, and you're back too. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Hope your day is going well. Philip, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Whitney, welcome back. And yeah, I figure I'd turn the webcam on for a little bit just to kick things off. Say hello. And then probably flip it off. Not flip it off, but like flip it off. You got what I meant. I'm not going to flip off the camera. That would be rude. Johnny Hoover, you're in Westfall, man? I'm going over to Ashenvale. Yeah, we're going to do some Ashenvale questing today. Philip asked if we'll be incorporating the live streams into the channel more often. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really fun couple of days, and I'm really loving this format. It's super great to be able to actually interact with you guys outside of just seeing comments like hours or days later. Food's coming in. Thank you. So we're gonna go no cam for a little bit here. And I'm gonna be eating a little bit, so I might be muted a little bit. Thank you guys for being tolerant. Confo, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I wish we could do some fishing, but I don't have it at the requisite level. Even if I had a fishing pole equipped. Alright, there's our ride. It didn't take too long. It could have been worse. I felt like we just saw it pull away. I thought it was going to be a really, really long wait, but that wasn't too bad. Karen, hello. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I will say, like, I don't mind the face cam, but one of the unnerving things for me about the face cam is that being a classroom facilitator, when I talk to people and they can see me, I use my hands a lot to gesticulate. And part of it is like an anxiety thing, and it helps with that, but the other part of it is when you use your hands a lot, and you gesture while you talk, people will focus on that, and they will be staring right at you less. And on the face cam, I never really got used to the fact that I can't really gesticulate as much, and it doesn't have the same effect. Adrian, man, thanks for being here. You haven't missed anything yet. We just got on the boat, and we're heading over to Darkshore to get down into Ashenvale. And that's where we're starting. We haven't done anything. The lights in my room look really bright. You know what? A part of it is a window. It's like sunlight's coming in from outside, and then I have a really awesome white light for the one light that I do have. That's a bulb in this room that isn't sunlight. And no, I like the white light that looks like sunlight. And so I have normal sunlight coming in, and a white bulb. And no, I like it. I like it bright. I like when it's daytime, especially. I like to feel like it's daytime and not like I'm hunkered down inside of a dark cave. And I prefer natural light over artificial light when I can get it. And this time of day, it streams in right through the window behind me, and it's kind of nice. And there's no lighting that will make me look good, so it from that perspective, it really doesn't bother me that it's like maybe overly bright and probably not ideal. But that doesn't matter so much to me. Zensetsu, I really do enjoy the new format. Thank you for being here for it. Now, I've been here once before, but it was in a recording that you guys will never see because I recorded some stuff here the morning of the day that I did that first test stream. And I had a really bad time here because I thought we were going to have more green quests to do, and it turned out they were all gray, and all the enemies I was fighting was gray, and we weren't getting any experience, and it was pretty miserable. And part of that is what spurred me to take some time and just set up my my OBS and do that stuff, which got us here today. So I'm kind of glad that I came here and had a really miserable time here in Darkshore, because it was part of what got me into OBS and what got me live in front of you guys. But it's the lost episode. It's gone now. I think I cleared out my folders today. Lael, hello. Thanks for being here. Velaset, hello. Thanks for showing up. Everything's well so far. We're not dead yet. We're still alive. And we're going to head down into Ashenvale and see what we can get into down that way. In the meanwhile, I'm eating some soup and a sandwich, so on the road here I might be a little quieter than usual, but I'm still here. Oh yeah, it's delicious, and you'd think that I would have eaten before I started the stream, but timing just didn't work out that way. What really happened is that a nap happened, and sometimes naps absolutely have to happen, and when they do have to happen, you shouldn't stop them. So I didn't. Christian Peleka wants me to say his name. I think I just got it. Daryl, afternoon. Thanks for being here. It was a broccoli cheddar soup. For the curious. James Anderson, what's up, man? Everything's good here. We're going down into Ashenvale. We're gonna see if we can do some lower level stuff down there. Did I ever get the flight point while I was in Duskwood? Oh man, you know I didn't. I never went up that hill. That's right, it's like around the back of the town up a hill. And I absolutely didn't. And that's okay though. It's a pretty quick run from Red Ridge. Confa, what's today's topic? That's up to you guys. Whatever you can get me to talk about. We're not going into Seal of Command. Yeah. We've kind of thought about it a lot. Instead, what we're doing is we're going into improved Seal of Righteousness. Instead of going into Seal of Command. Yeah, we're gonna skip it. Yeah, always get your flight points. Don't be like me. It should be the first thing you do besides like vendoring your stuff when you get to a town. Grab the flight point. Yeah, James, I think we're going to do a mostly ret leveling build. We're going into Holy a little bit, obviously, for a few talents. So we're going to go down into Holy, far enough to grab Consecrate. 5, 5, and 1. So we'll have 11 points in Holy. And then most of the rest we'll probably put into Retribution. DWP, they're unlocking allied races in 10.1.5. Now, are they unlocking them totally? Like, I can go to the character select screen on Alliance and I'll be able to create a cult Tyrian? Because that's what I think about when I think about it being unlocked. I think about it just being in the character creator. Without me having to go do a quest at the embassy or go talk to Jaina or any of that stuff. If that's how it's working, I think that's freaking amazing and such a huge quality of life improvement for the game. Because a lot of those are amazing races that especially new players would probably love to play, but having them locked behind all that reputation still. And, you know, some of the quest lines were probably really good. So if that content is dead, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, just people being able to play more of those races, how can that be anything but good for the game? You have to do the recruitment quest. Yeah, see, then that's not unlocked. Because some new players especially are not going to find that. They're not going to know about that. They're not going to know to do it. They're going to log into the game and they're going to make a character, a player to the game. Like, listen, you're a new player, okay? And let's say you really, really want to play High Mountain Tauren. You love the Tauren, but you want to play High Mountain Tauren. Okay, so you're a new player. You can't make that character when you log in, so therefore you make a different character. You have to make a different character, go do the quest at the embassy. And then it's like, I've already created this other character. I've already started this journey. Now I gotta what? I gotta re-roll immediately? I think they should just unlock them and put them in the character creator. I don't think there's any reason to do it any differently. I don't think they need to be called allied races anymore. I think they're just Horde and Alliance races now. Allied races was a contrivance of BFA, how they introduced them, you know, into the war. Why do... It's like, I hate when they do half-ass measures, you know what I mean? They do something that's like, it's a really good thing to do, but they half-ass it, and they don't do it the full way. You gotta go all the way with stuff like this. That's gonna make people much more happy. It's not gonna make anybody unhappy that they don't have to go to the embassy and talk to the person. That's not gonna piss anybody off. They're not gonna be like, oh man, I really wish I could go talk to that NPC and do those clicks. Oh yeah, I mean obviously the rep grind was the worst. Yeah, but just do it all the way. Go all the way with it. Let me make a cult here and just log it into the character creation screen. And then what would be cool is like, yeah, you make that character, you still get to see the allied race story, don't you? When you make it, or is that not so? I forget how they wove the stories into the allied races, if you played through like a little starting area with them, or how it worked. I haven't played an allied race in a very long time. Apparently we can get lean wolf flanks from the Ghost Paw runners here. That's pretty cool. That's a quest back over in Duskwood. When you log as an ally race, you just go straight to leveling somewhere now? Yeah. Maybe it was the unlocking quest that I was thinking about. I thought they had a little bit of story attached to them, but I'm probably thinking about the quest lines to unlock them. I don't know what this quest is over here, the Ancient Statuette. Bring Talon the Ancient Statuette. Let's go check this guy out. I don't know who he is or what he's doing. James, I didn't know they were opening up any more race class combos. Which races are going to become warlocks now? Who doesn't have warlock already? Who should have it? Cultirans? Part of me wishes at this point in retail they just lift all race class restrictions and just let people play whatever race, whatever class they want. The lore always gets so crazy that, like, you know, for lore reasons they say, but the lore changes all the time. Let's see, I would charge you with a task. I was on my small vessel skimming over the submerged ruins when Naga attacked me. So he lost, excuse me, he lost all of his stuff. Okay, we have to go find it. It's probably just going to be like a pick up off the ground, right? Yeah, it's up here. What else is up here? Level 19 Naga, fill the beach. That's not going to be a problem. Let's go do this guy's quest really quick. I wonder if it's a one-off. James, that sounds like practically every race that couldn't be a warlock yet. Similar to what didn't they do this already with the warrior mage rogue priest, right? Those, anybody can be warrior mage rogue priest. Is that what they did? And it seems like they're just continuing that trend of opening up the classes to more and more races, which I feel like that's only great for the players and great for the health of the game. Maghar orcs, yeah, a Maghar orc warlock would be cool. I do hope that eventually they add some customizations to some of the allied race. I feel like things like the Maghar, they don't have nearly as much customization now as the regular orcs do. Yeah, James, I think that what they see is what most people see, where like the original stories and lore reasons for all the class restrictions, they're gone. They're not really a part of the game anymore. And then we have Classic now to hold true to all those things. And I think having Classic is a big reason why Blizzard is willing to do things like that, like open up the classes more and more. Just because Classic still exists, and so those roots are still upheld somewhere. It feels like they don't have to give it up completely, you know, because it still lives out in Classic. Dan, thank you for showing up, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Zensetsu, that's deep, man. That's like asking somebody to get really deep with like zero prompting. A question about real life. Give us some advice that helped you along the way / discovered along your journey. The biggest thing that's been important to me is doing meaningful work that you love. Finding meaningful work to do in your life that you love to do and doing it every day. And it doesn't matter what the meaningful work is not necessarily always a job. Meaningful work can be basically anything. But I think it's really important to have that in your life and to just continue with it every single day. Regardless of what it is or how hard it is to do it every day, I think you just keep at it. And then also like asking for things within yourself, telling yourself the things that you're going to achieve or telling yourself the things that you want. You know, some people pray to God, some people talk within themselves and set their own course, but I think like definitely having an internal dialogue with yourself about the things that you want out of life and asking for those things out of life and working towards them always. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll cap it there. Daniel, I think it's valid to feel that way, but also keep in mind that just like the story and lore of the game changes over time. And we should be happy that we still get to have Classic, that we get to see the game how it was always and play the game how it was. And then, in my opinion, I just kind of let retail do what retail is going to do. As long as they're giving love to Classic and we're getting things like new seasons and, you know, we can't really hope for new content, but as long as they're supporting Classic, I'm just like, I got to a point where I'm fine with whatever they want to do in retail. As long as their goals and intentions are to make the game better for players in some way. Whether that's opening up restrictions or whatever it is. But I understand how it's like, it's easy to get upset about stuff, especially when you've been super attached to it for so long. And to just see it change for what seem like arbitrary reasons. But a lot of times the change happens just because enough people believe that it's going to be better. Yeah, James, Ashenvale is one of my favorite zones. I kind of wish it weren't raining, right? I like the rain noise. I like the ambient rain noise. The visual of it, though, it actually reduces the visibility that you can see in the distance. So I'm kind of hoping that the rain clears up. But the music is absolutely spot on. Adrian, take care, man. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, James. You've heard that the XP boost from Season of Mastery is still active in Classic Era. It's not active on Bloodstone Buccaneers. It's not active on Mancrick. And I don't think the actual Season of Mastery servers are still live anymore, are they? I think they took the servers down a while back. Confo, yeah, I think that leaving Joyous Journeys in Wrath would be fine for people who want to level in Wrath, but I don't think that Blizzard will do that because, as we've seen, they kind of use Joyous Journeys as a way to boost people logging into the game during downtimes in content. So between, like, raid tiers, they will typically do a Joyous Journey as the time between raid tiers is dragging out, you know, as a way to get people re-interested and get back into the game if they've stepped away. And I think they'll keep using Joyous Journeys to do exactly that into the future. They do the same thing sometimes in retail. I don't remember what they call it in retail.
Good luck, Frank.
But they have the XP buff in retail that they'll put out whenever there's a content lull to get people leveling ults and stuff. So as cool as I think it would be just to leave it in the game for people who want to level like that a little bit faster, I don't think that they will.
Can I assist you?
Is this guy role-playing? It says he should have another quest, but he doesn't.
Hello.
Maybe he's doing some roleplay? Yes, he was doing some roleplay. I fear the ancient statuette's secrets will remain forever hidden unless you find the key to its ancient lock. Can we say ancient more in this sentence? That key is a ring, the Ring of Zoram. It belonged to the rulers of this city before the waves of the Sundering drowned it. For years the ring was lost, but the Naga have recently found it. Their leader, Ruzel, dwells on an isle in the northern edge of Zoram.
Be careful.
Is this an elite quest? Oh, he paths all around. I don't think I'm going to go after him right now. I think I want to move on, and we'll come down and check out Bethran's hair. Not sure what that's going to be about. I sometimes forget how large of a zone Ashenvale really is. It feels like almost comparable in size to the Barrens if we compare east to west to the Barrens north and south, I feel like it's almost as big. James asked if I plan on running through the Trial of Crusader dungeon and raid at all. I might. I mean, we did a couple max runs. I did an Ulduar run that didn't get recorded. I did it with somebody's guild, and I didn't have time to set my audio up properly, so I couldn't separate their Discord chatter from my system sounds, so I just didn't end up recording it, but I got a couple of pieces of gear, and we killed a few bosses, and that was fun. It was like 3 hours of killing, I think we killed 6 bosses. Mike420, yeah, live stream, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we've been streaming for the past couple days, and it turns out that I like this format quite a bit. And as long as you guys are digging it, I'm probably going to keep at it.
Peace be with you.
Bathrin's hair. There is a plant that once grew in old ruins of Bathrin's haunt to the north. The plant was called Bathrin's hair and was known to cure ailments of the spirit. There's a sick child in the village, and I believe it is more than just a physical illness.
Farewell.
Okay, so we're going after the hair to cure a sick night elf child. Level 20. Now, I wonder if we're going to get other quests to do in this area. When we're on the Horde side, we get a quest to fight Furbolg back here. But that quest came from the Zoram stand, which we don't go to on Alliance. But maybe if we come down to the town, someone will send us over this way. Mothcat asked, is classic hardcore difficult? If so, what makes it difficult? It's not that the game is any more challenging than just classic era. The thing that makes it difficult is when you die, you can't res. You delete your character. So the finality of dying even a single time is what makes it really challenging. The enemies and stuff, they're going to hit the same on this realm as on any other classic era realm. But yeah, you can't die. You can't die. There are other restrictions too. You can't trade, you can't use the auction house. It's solo self-found gear, so just anything you find yourself you can equip. When you do dungeons, you can only do them once. So yeah, it's hard in the essence that you just can't let yourself ever get killed. Otherwise, you delete it. Red Robin, I think some people do play the hardcore at the end game because I've seen like hardcore raids and stuff where when you die in those end game raids, you're dead. I think that there's like the option maybe for some people if you don't want to have your character be on those rules anymore when you're level 60. I think you can just do normal runs. But I do think that if you're still doing the hardcore thing, those guys delete their characters if they die in a raid. I don't really want to do any hardcore raids. I think that it would be interesting right up until a random mechanic that you didn't see coming killed you. And I feel like that's probably going to be most people's experience. Is just getting killed with some random mechanic. Auntie, I think that you can. I just don't think that a lot of people who are big in the hardcore community do that. Because I think most of them, I see them doing hardcore raids and stuff. So while I think that that's an option that if you look at the add-on, it does tell you that somewhere. Maybe I could pull it up here. No, it doesn't list it here. Rules, let's see. Here are the official rules you can take a look at. Oh, I didn't know it listed out. This is really cool. It actually has the dungeon levels here, max level that you can go into the dungeon. That's super helpful. Wow. Alright, we got the flight point for this one. And I do have the flight point back in Darkshore also. Yeah, I don't have the route there in Village flight point. I didn't go over there.
May the stars Ishnu Allah.
DWP asks, what, if anything, do I think would be cool for them to do for WoW's 20th anniversary? I think it would be cool if they announced Classic Plus. New content for Classic.
I am
The new content for the game. New content for the game that started everything. That would be the tagline, right? Happy to introduce brand new content for the World of Warcraft that started everything. Classic Plus. Coming 2024. Yeah, November 2024, right? But that's probably not going to happen. I don't think so. The 6 is the add-on that changes the quest text is called Immersion, and it's amazing. James, we did use the voiceover add-on for a few episodes. I think the Tauren hardcore run started with voiceover, and maybe the first Paladin hardcore that we got killed off started with the voiceover add-on. And yeah, I checked it out for a bit. I thought it was really cool. It's really good for AI voices. And the reason I didn't really continue to use it is because I worry about Blizzard eventually pulling the plug on it and saying that they don't want it around. They've done that with voiceover stuff in the past.
I am honored. Goddess watch over you.
My quest log is full, that's why I can't. I emptied my inventory, but the inventory is not my problem. My problem is that I just have too many quests. Let's see. We could probably just dump a bunch of stuff that we're not working on anywhere right now. Let's go here and let's just start abandoning quests. Let's not abandon this one. We have the traversal part completed. This one can go. Excavation site can go.
Hello. Good luck, friend. What brings you here? Del Nadris. How may I help? Be careful. Ishnu Allah. Farewell.
Greetings.
Alright, of course now they give us the quest for the Naga heads. Okay, so we'll head back over this way. We'll do that one first. Then we'll go up here and do Bathrin's hair. And then we'll head down this way and do the cleansing. That sounds like a good plan. DWP asks, would I rather have Classic Era Plus or Wrath of the Lich King Plus? Definitely Classic Era Plus at this point. There might have been a time when I would have said Wrath of the Lich King Plus. That would have been a time before I spent this much time in Classic Era to see how much I really love it. and how truly unique and special it is. But I wouldn't mind if what they ended up doing for whatever reason was Wrath of the Lich King Plus. If they decided that Classic goes to Wrath and then we add new content onto that, I would be happy with that. Yeah, it would be great to have new content. But that would not really be what I want. Daryl, I started playing back in 2004, man. I started playing a lot in the middle of Burning Crusade was when I would say I started getting on every day and playing. And then most of my raiding was done in Wrath of the Lich King. That was the heyday of raiding. Yeah, when we raided 3 nights a week for 3 or 4 hours a night, we would sometimes do Battlegrounds afterwards, and we just did all the raids, cleared all the content. We would do 10 and 25 mans. Poured a lot of time into the endgame stuff in Wrath, which I think is why today the endgame stuff in Wrath doesn't really interest me a lot. I don't have a big impetus to grind out all the gear because I've done it already. Oh, James, you asked if I ever thought about doing reactions. No, I'm going to leave that to Asmon. I don't know. My reactions to stuff are usually not what you'd expect. I don't know. No, I don't think I'll do reaction stuff. Not at this point in time. I feel like I get distracted enough as it is from what we're doing here. If I start watching other people's videos and reacting and talking about them, that'll just be something that just goes on for the whole day. And we'll never get back to playing the game. You know, maybe I'll just start watching Asmon react to other people, and then I'll react to Asmon reacting, and then Asmon can react to me reacting to him react. Here, and what we'll do just in case, we'll do this. Just in case we find ourselves in that spot, we will do this for Asmon. There we go, now we're ready to react to reacting. It's a slippery slope. Yes, it is. Yeah. I don't know how far down that rabbit hole we would go. Probably not too far before we broke our backs in it. John Fu, I'm well. How are you, man? Thanks for being here. DWPS, do I think the Microsoft acquisition would benefit or hurt the game? Do I feel companies have gotten too greedy, and if so, how can we change this? We can't change it, and yes, I do feel that way. Do I feel like it would be beneficial, or would it hurt the game? It'd probably do a little of column A and a little of column B, I have to assume. And there's nothing you can do to stop rampant capitalism. It's the society that you live in, or it isn't. And if you live in a capitalist society, those roots are deep. And the thing about capitalism is that it perpetuates the rule of the wealthy, and you're never gonna wrest power away from people who have all the resources. So you're able to make changes in your own life and like live how you want and be happy, but like you're never gonna change an entire system that's founded on the amassing of generational wealth. Does that make sense? Because they own all the shit, man. They own all the buildings. They own all the land. They own all the things that like really are just part of the planet and shouldn't be owned, but they literally own them. And so that generates wealth forever, and you're not going to take it away. And so they make the rules. They say, you know, what capitalism is going to be like. They determine what a monopoly is going to be, which changes throughout time. And there's really nothing we can do. We can try to live good lives and be good people. And the society is going to do what it's going to do, and the economy is going to do what it's going to do for the most part. I think it would be super cool to have Classic on the Game Pass on Xbox. That would be super cool, and it would probably get a ton of people to try out World of Warcraft who would never try it out. If they can get it onto consoles, I think that would be a huge win. Most MMOs have a console port. World of Warcraft is one of the few exceptions to this. So I think that getting it on consoles would be amazing, just because it would introduce more people to it who otherwise would never get to play it. People who don't own a gaming PC, who never will own a gaming PC, but who will own an Xbox, would get to play the game. And while I feel like obviously like Blizzard they'll never put retail on Game Pass, but I feel like putting Classic on Game Pass makes sense. Yeah, adapting it to a controller play would probably be a little bit of a pain, but I feel like there have been add-ons that have done it successfully, haven't there? I feel like there have been add-ons that allow for some kind of like controller play. Maybe I'm making this up. I thought I saw a Bellular video back in the day where he was showcasing a mod that's allowed for controller play in WoW, although that was probably retail, to be fair. That's true, JB. Final Fantasy XIV does seem to do okay with the controller. They've been on PlayStation forever. And I feel like they have a comparable amount of buttons to push per class in that game. Comparable maybe even to what we push in Classic. Although I haven't really played Final Fantasy XIV since Shadowbringers, so I think abilities and pruning and stuff could have happened, I'm not sure. I remember there being quite a few abilities to press. And obviously some classes were more complicated than others. I was playing a Dragoon, and that rotation was pretty easy. I remember it being some simple combos. Yeah, you would hope that if they do a console port that they put the work in to make the controller feel good and add some kind of functionality to it so it's not just a struggle for people to use the controller. There are lots of buttons on controllers these days, I mean, and lots of different ways you can lay them out. I have the Xbox, the Elite Series 2 controller, and it has these paddles underneath that you can map to whatever buttons you want, essentially. And they're super easy to hit, and it makes a lot of games a lot better to play, being able to map the buttons to those bottom little triggers. They're called paddles. Yes, they call them paddles. Paul, isn't it amazing? I mean, it's super expensive. That's the reality of it, but it's so good. I must have missed something, because now I see that we're talking about aliens and reverse engineering alien spaceships. What did I miss? Yeah, it was worth the money for sure. And they're durable too. My 8-year-old has dropped ours twice onto the hardwood, and the paddles fly off of it, but it's undamaged, so pretty sturdy. DWP, I don't know who Bob Lazar is, and that's not uncommon for me. There's lots of people who know who these people are, and I don't know who anybody is. Yeah, Paul, when it hits the ground, it's the loudest noise you can hear throughout your entire house, and then as soon as you hear the noise, you know exactly what happened. Because the kid who was having fun a minute ago is suddenly dead silent, and you just hear this loud bang. Like, oh god, that was the Elite controller, wasn't it? Squidman asks, what's my favorite class to play in Classic? Currently that answer is the one that's alive. But historically, probably Warrior. With Rogue and Mage being pretty high up there as well. But classically throughout time, Warrior has been kind of my go-to class. In Hardcore, they just don't seem to have a lot of survivability, and we got one killed at level 19. The charging for the controller is so good, and it's like, that's obviously why they made the original controllers take batteries, because, you know, they plan to release something better eventually. No, DWP, they weren't lifers. And by the time I was 4, they were both out of the military. So we lived originally in Panama, and then in Texas for a bit, and then we were back in Michigan. But no, they weren't lifers. Though to their credit, they were in for a while after they had me, so I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, we have a kid. I'm just sure it must be hard to have like lead a military life and have a child, and have to move around with them so much. So. No, they both went on in life to do other things. Live Life Strong, hello. Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for being here. Daryl, what's my PC setup? Like my DX Diag specs? I have a 3070 RTX and I have an AMD processor that's pretty new. I don't know exactly which one it is. Yeah, it's a decent PC. I built it recently through iBuyPower, and they assembled it really quick, and they got it to me weeks and weeks before they originally thought they were going to, and it came with no problems at all. And I've been really happy with it. But I'm not Co-Carnage. It's not a $6,000 PC with a 4090 in it. Although the 4090s, I saw they're only like $1,600, and if you're thinking about prices of graphics cards in the past 5 years, that's really cheap. Yeah, Dan, the process works well, doesn't it? What I liked about iBuyPower is how, like, daily, they sent me an email, like, daily about where my PC was at in the process, what was happening with it, and they were updating me the entire time, and I thought that was super cool. You know, especially after you pay a company online a couple $1,000s to build something for you. It was really cool that they stayed in touch and gave you, like, a progress report every step of the way. Tactical Warrior, no, I don't have a second PC set up to stream. I'm currently streaming off the computer that I play on. And I feel like for doing classic stuff, that seems to work okay. Because the strain on my hardware playing classic is basically nothing. I do have a second PC still in this office. It's the older rig, and I could probably set it up to stream through that, but then I have to get a capture card and do all that work, and I haven't done any of that setup yet. I have to look into that stuff a little bit more. Brother Jerry, I think YouTube caps you at 1440. So Twitch, you're capped at 1080. You can't even stream in 1440 on Twitch. And then on YouTube, you're capped at 1440, I believe. I don't think you can stream in full 4K. I think it's 1440p. And that's what we should be in right now. We should be available in 1440p. Anti, though, I think the point is, like, Final Fantasy XIV was also designed to be a PC game, and then, like, yeah, they probably always wanted it on consoles, but it was designed PC first. And it's kind of a similar amount of buttons, I feel like, in FF14, especially if we're looking at maybe retail WoW, be a similar amount of buttons. It's going to be challenging no matter what, you know, to map everything to controller binds. You're going to have a couple of different things you flip through to use different buttons, and but yeah, if you haven't seen it, look at how FF14 does their controller setup, and I feel like something like that could work for WoW. Especially if Blizzard put their minds to it and, like, you know, really innovated in some way and made a cool interface for it. I think that something could work. And it might not ever be, like, ideal, you know what I mean? Like, you're probably not going to play on console and do freaking Mythic 25 keys. Or Mythic rating. You're not going to do that on a controller, you know, but for like a casual player or like doing crossplay where maybe you just want to get on and do some world quest, you jump on your Xbox. Stuff like that, you know. And now classic, I feel like the same thing, like, yeah, we got a lot of buttons, so it's not going to be ideal to map all that stuff to a controller, and it wouldn't be the most efficient mode of play, but I feel like it could definitely be done. Like, I personally don't think I would want to play an MMO on a controller. I have my Logitech MMO mouse, so I have a ton of buttons I can press by just moving my thumb a little bit. You'll notice I only use 1 through 4 on my number pad and my tilde key, because that's what I can hit easily. I have my F keys bound to my mouse buttons, and I can hit 8 of them really, really easily without very much thought. So I don't think I would use a controller, just because of the mouse that I use. But I feel like some people, especially people who play traditionally with the action numbers all up here, like 1 through 0 on the number board, that's hard to reach for a lot of people, right? So a lot of people play WoW in a way that it's already challenging for them to hit the buttons they need, especially if you don't have a good mouse and good key bindings. You could already be struggling to play it on a PC because of just, like you said, how many buttons there are, and all the finger stretching that could be involved if you don't have your layout right. What's going on up here? We have Forsaken people up here. Herbalist. Sarah, I'm glad the time works for you. I'm trying to do morning stuff, afternoon stuff, and as often as I can evening stuff, so that everybody has a chance to show up if they can. I know those times probably won't work for everybody everywhere, but it's, you know, morning, afternoon, and evening is really... That's as much as I can do. I hope as many people as possible can come hang out. I can't always commit to evening streams, just because I try to spend time with my boy in the evening. But sometimes we'll be able to. I need to look at, like, the world clocks, because I'm really bad about even knowing, like, what time it is in other places. It's hard for me to, like, just mentally track that stuff. I need to get some world clocks so I know, like, what time it is for you guys in different places around the world. Yeah, I pulled both of these guys and we weren't at full health. I should have hung back for a minute and healed up. Let's go ahead and leash them. Oh, that was an easy leash. Paul, this would be a bad time to say that, like, surprisingly, I don't do military time well. I have basically anything with numbers confuses me. I'm not a number-oriented person. I'm definitely, like, a word-oriented person. Like, I can count out what time that is if I start at 1200. Otherwise. Yeah, 750. Right, see, I could have counted that high. I would have had to count manually because of how bad I am with, like, just quick mathematics in my head. It just doesn't work. Alright, we're full health. Can we take them on at full HP? I think so. We probably don't have to. We're looking for items on the ground, I think, and I haven't been paying enough attention to really see any. It's gonna be some kind of herb. Maybe I haven't seen any because we haven't come across any yet. Oh, here we go. Oh, God. How am I going to see that? So we're looking for tiny, tiny brown things on the brown ground. That's going to be interesting. How many of them will I walk right over? This is going to be another runaway situation, assuming we don't get stun locked here. Oh, I tried to do the strafing and it just did not work out. There we go. Okay, so what are we going to do differently here? We're not going to be able to pull this guy. Maybe we need to hang more to the left up ahead here. Paul, that is true. Everything sparkles so much in retail. It sparkles too much. You know what I mean? I understand trying to, like, clue people in like me who can't see anything. I understand trying to, like, help people a little bit, but yeah. When you can see it sparkling from across the map, I think that's, like, a little bit too much. I wish the sparkles would be, like, proximity. Kind of like, maybe like a hot and cold type proximity. Like, the closer you get to it, then the more it shines. So that when you're far away, you don't see all the stuff shining in the distance where all the items are at. I feel like there should be a way to make it more subtle. Even in retail. Tactical warrior. No, I don't think I'm flagged. I shouldn't be flagged. PvP flagged, I assume you mean? No, we're not PvP flagged. Is bubble hearthstone still forbidden? Yes, I think so. I don't think that we're allowed to bubble hearth. I'm not really sure why. If I'm being honest, I don't understand the restriction except that it's super overpowered and Paladin specific. But they haven't taken anything away from any other classes. Jay, for the Discord, I should have a link to the Discord. If you look at like the first or second Shaman video that we did recently in Wrath of the Lich King, those Shaman videos, the description should have a link to the Discord. That doesn't expire. So you should be able to click that. That should get you into the Discord. And it's the Wrath of the Lich King Shaman we started for Joyous Journeys recently. That's where the link's at. Okay, I see an item over here. Can I grab this guy now? I think so. Cyber Sourcat, thanks for being here. What do I think about the story or quest in Classic? The story in Classic is mainly like the story happens at the zone level, so in every zone there's specific stuff going on in every zone, and so if you read all the quests as you play through the zones, you'll kind of learn the story of what's going on in the zone and about the people who inhabit it. As far as like a big A plot, there isn't really like a big A plot of Classic. It's all these little stories that explain just things going on in the world that, on like a boots on the ground level. Retail has their big A plots, you know, and yeah, I kind of bounce off the retail story these days. That's a lot of guys. Okay, yeah, let's do this firstly. We'll do this first. We are just having bad luck today pulling ads. I was gonna say, I'd rather not use Lay on Hands as well. I played Lord of the Rings Online when it first came out. I heard recently that Amazon is going to be making a new Lord of the Rings MMO RPG in the future. Like, they have the rights to do it, and apparently they're going to try. Which I guess is like, that's the nail in the coffin for New World. From what I remember of Lord of the Rings, if it hasn't changed too much over time, they do feel similar. The way the zones feel and the way the questing is, at least from what very little that I remember. I played Lord of the Rings Online when it first came out. Alex, hey man, thanks for being here. Yeah, YouTube is weird about where it shows you scheduled streams. So like a scheduled stream, I don't think it's pushed really anywhere. Unless you go to my channel page and then you can see the stream is scheduled and what time it's set to go live. But I don't think YouTube is like notifying people of scheduled streams. If it were like a video that was set to be a premiere, then it would probably push it. But since it's just a scheduled stream, not a stream that's actually live, I don't think it'll pop up on like homepage. I don't even know if the notifications fire off. Unless you go to the actual page of the stream when it's scheduled and click there for a notification, I don't think the normal notification bell notifies you. Speaking of bandaging, we need to work on our bandages because we have been slacking when it comes to leveling that up. I have some cloth in the auction house. And eventually here, we're going to need to pull out those mats from the auction house and we're going to have to do some crafting. Okay, those are roots. Let's get out of the roots. So we need 3 more items and we are just having a tough time with ads. How are we going to approach this to actually succeed? Because they're not very powerful. So if we were planning it, we could fight 2 of them, and maybe we just have to plan to fight 2 of them so we don't get surprised. Look over there, we see that they probably just chased away another player. Otherwise, I don't know why they would be over there unless they were leashing from chasing somebody else. Maybe that means we'll have help here in a minute. Live Life Strong, thank you, man. That's super generous, and welcome to the 5 new members. You're now stuck here. By the way, you can't leave. I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much. Paul Webster, yes. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, we had that warrior going that was just a non-hardcore play, and that was really cool. And then I kind of put it on hold to focus on hardcore, and then they announced that they're going to do another season of Classic WoW. So I'm kind of putting off like the immersive play, the non-hardcore Classic era play. I'm kind of putting that off until we get the new season. I feel like that'll be a good time to dive into a Classic era playthrough that isn't hardcore. Because I'm hoping that the new season, whatever they do, I'm hoping it'll have something interesting about it that isn't just like an XP boost. I'm hoping there's not an XP boost at all and that they just do something super interesting with the season. And that's probably not going to come out until November. I'd say the new season of Classic Era would be November, so that would be the time we'll probably be doing some Classic Era that's not hardcore. Hey Tim, welcome man, thanks for being here. It's monthly, but I'm pretty sure they have like a pause feature on it where you can do it a month at a time and then you just put it on pause, and I think that way it wouldn't auto renew. You'd think I would know more about it, but my favorite class in WoW Classic is probably a warrior. I do historically tend towards the warrior. It's the class that I've definitely put the most hours into. I'd like to find one more item without risking the biscuit here. But we have a little bit of competition. I don't want to ninja that, right? Yeah, see, he was working for that. Okay. We got this patrol over here that's going to cause problems. Let's take this guy out while we have a little bit of backup right here. Alright, so far I think this qualifies as the most dangerous area we've been in live on stream, because I've had to bubble run 3 times now? 4 times? This area is low-key super dangerous. Like, we're here and they're lower level than us, but we keep getting so many ads. Yeah, this is like some Battle for Azeroth level of mob density, isn't it? We've got patrolling packs, we've got packs standing together, we've got even individual guys that are just really, really close to each other. What we don't have are a lot of available quest items on the ground. That's the part that we're missing. And I feel like the respawn rate is back to normal. Earlier today, the respawns were kind of coming in a little bit slower than we're used to, but I feel like they've picked back up. Let's take out the Seeker. There's going to be the patrol that comes right through here, so maybe we move her over here and fight her over here. Yeah, that's just a respawn in the bushes. No big deal. What else is gonna respawn? Faraway Ranger, thank you, man. Thank you for being here, for hanging out in the stream. I appreciate that. There we go. This is the last one we need. Live Life Strong, thank you. So the gift memberships are 1 month and they're not recurring, which makes sense. That's perfect. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of stuff that automatically renews, to be quite honest. I like Final Fantasy XIV. They send me an email every month, like a week or two ahead of time, to tell me that that my sub is going to charge, and I appreciate that. But yeah, because I kind of hate stuff that just auto renews. I've had too many times in my life where like $15 mattered to me to have it, like, or whatever it is, whatever the sub is, like. I've had too much time in life where like that money has mattered, and I just like I hate when it just disappears and you don't even notice that it's gone. Because sometimes that can really screw a person over. Especially if like for some reason a lot of your subs, they all end up coming out in like the same week or near the same time. And like now we have that stuff going in off of a certain account, right? So we know that that's where they all charge to one account, and it makes it easier to keep track of it. But yeah, I hate subscriptions that just auto renew, especially ones that don't notify you before they do it. Yeah, exactly. They hope that you forget that you're subbed, or that you just like, not even that you forget you're subbed, but like you might not really use the service or whatever it is a lot, but you just don't want to go through the effort of doing the clicks it's going to take to unsub. They basically, they bank on people's overall laziness, you know. They bank on the fact that people are going to say, well, I could take the time to go cancel that sub, I'll do it later. And then, you know, you never cancel the sub keeps charging. Taxiarchus, that's nice. They gave you the refund? Well, that was nice of them. Jessica, thank you, and thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Faraway Ranger, you're absolutely right. If we're looking at recent World of Warcraft expansions, like post-Legion, if we're looking at post-Legion WoW expansions, then Dragonflight seems to be really good. Tons of content, tons of stuff for people to do. The people who play retail seem genuinely happy with most of it. People tend to agree that the story is a little bit boring, and that it lacks like any big oomph. But with all the silly big moments they tried to do in Shadowlands that just didn't resonate and didn't work out, I'm kind of fine with them being more low-key for a while. Though eventually the story is going to have to feel like World of Warcraft again, otherwise we're just doing something different. But as far as the gameplay and the systems and stuff, the gearing, everyone seems really happy with retail right now who play it. I don't have to be in this area anymore, and I should get out of here. That would be really smart. Because we got ourselves quite deep in here, didn't we? I didn't really realize that. Faraway Ranger asked, do I think we'll get another season of Mastery 2 or something like that before the end of the year? Yeah, they announced that there will be a new season. So when they announced the new hardcore servers that they're going to open up this summer, they also announced they called it a new season of Classic WoW. I don't know if they said Classic Era WoW or if they just said a new season of Classic WoW, but they're referring to Classic Era. And my guess would be we're going to get that in November. November was the time that the first season of Mastery opened up. And November kind of fits in around other releases that are happening. It seems like it'll be a little bit of a lull period where they can put in a new season. We'll have had the hardcore servers since summer, so we'll have been doing that for a while. And November seems like it'll be the time for the next season. It won't be Season of Mastery, it'll be Season of something new, I would assume. We're yet to get any details about that or about the hardcore servers. Unless some news went up on Wowhead today that I haven't seen yet. I haven't checked the news at all today, actually. Ben asked where we've leveled between 22 and 23. We've mainly just been doing stuff in Red Ridge. We've grinded a bit in Westfall. We grinded a bit in Duskwood. We've done a couple of quests here and there in all those places. It's been a level range that's been hard to find green stuff to do, and now we came here to Ashenvale.
What brings you here? Go in peace.
Cyber Sourcat, you can use a one-hander and a shield if you want. You have on the Paladin, you can use maces, axes, swords, and you can use their one-hand equivalents with a shield. For leveling, I prefer to have just the big two-hander. It's going to deal more damage, and in hardcore, killing things more quickly is usually the thing that you want to do. The quicker it dies, the less damage it's going to be able to do to you overall, is kind of the theory. So yeah, I prefer the two-handers. I'll equip anything that's better, so I like swords aesthetically, but when we get a better axe or a better two-handed mace, I'm going to equip that. And then yeah, you have the option to go one-hander and shield, which would be, you know, less damage but more survivability. Do I have a class picked out that I want to start with on the official hardcore servers? I've been thinking about that. I don't think I've come to any hard conclusions yet. It's probably going to be a melee class. So we're talking warrior, maybe rogue. Oh, hello there. I might go shaman. We'd have to go horde to do that. I kind of wanted to play alliance is the only problem with that. I really wish we can get dwarf shaman in classic era. And I don't know what they would give horde to give them paladins in classic era, but I wish we could do something. This guy just healed himself, and that was incredibly rude. And we are now officially out of potions, which is sad and frightening. Although you know what, maybe we'll go priest, because our priest felt really, really unkillable until I got it killed in the Undercity elevator. So I wouldn't mind maybe doing a human priest or a dwarf priest. Maybe that's the route that we'll go. What am I doing here? That would be good to know. I'm looking for a glowing gem. Am I looking for a glowing gem off the murlocs? I am, so killing murlocs does have a purpose. Indy, good morning to you, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. What have you missed? Well, we're still alive. We're questing in Ashenvale today. Getting some stuff done. We've had a lot of close calls. We've had the bubble run away many times. And we're halfway through, a little bit more than halfway through level 23. Ben, I haven't done any dungeons yet on this character, and I don't know when I will. I do know when I will. When one of you guys sends me a whisper in the game and says, hey, I'm putting a group together, do you want to tank it? Then I will say yes. Other than that, I don't have an interest in running with pugs, because I worry not only about getting killed myself, but I worry about getting other people killed. And at least if I'm playing with you guys, you kind of know what to expect. You can choose to put yourself in my hands or not. And you know the kind of player I am, and you're kind of in for it at that point. I definitely want to do dungeons with you guys, but I don't want to do it with pugs right now. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't do it with a pug eventually, but ultimately I decided that Dead Mines was really treacherous, and that there's lots of areas in there where the mobs can act up and pull large groups, and I just got too worried about it. SFK, we're gonna do SFK because I'm super familiar with SFK. I feel like we can do the pull. There's the one room where if a low-level guy walks into that one room, you'll pull everything in the room. So that's like the one pitfall. That's like the easiest place to get killed. Christian asks if hardcore classic WoW is populated. Yeah, it is. It's really populated. Lots of people in the zone right now. Right now, we're seeing a little bit less people today specifically, just because it's the first full day of Diablo 4 release. But yeah, Bloodsail Buccaneers server is the place to be if you want to play Classic Era Hardcore. If you want to play just Classic Era, just in general, there's the Mancrik server or the Pagel Classic servers, and they're all really busy. Yeah, the SFK, the silences from the ghost, yeah, you have to stand really far away. If you get close to those ghosts, they're gonna silence the crap out of you and people are gonna get killed. I've never done this quest before. It seems like it's an incredibly low drop rate. Can we battle the Horde, or did they stop that? I mean, you could PvP flag yourself and battle the Horde, but if you're on hardcore, you're gonna get killed. Yeah, Cyber Sour Cat. Nowadays, the truth is, like, games change so much now after they come out. Even if a game launches and it's in good shape, and just over the course of a year, so much is going to change in the game. You're absolutely right. Class balance will change, you know, any bugs remaining will get fixed, content might change. A year's time, a lot of stuff's going to change. And that's like, nowadays that's true of basically any live game. I remember when they used to burn a game onto a disc, and then that game shipped, and then you got to play that game. And if there were bugs in it, or if there were issues with it, or balancing that needed to happen, it never happened. You just played the game like it was. Indy, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you hanging out. I might have to step away for 1 minute here, but I'd like to get somewhere safe first, and I know that right now we're not even remotely safe. We can't park it out here, so maybe I'll have to wait. Sounds like one of my dogs got a hold of something upstairs that they probably shouldn't have, and my wife took off to go pick up our boy. So I might have to step upstairs and see what the puppos are doing up there. They found something noisy, and they shouldn't have any of their noisy toys out, so I kind of worry about what they have. No, I'm not gonna go AFK. I'm not gonna go AFK next to a Murloc. No. For a minute I pulled up Discord to get the link, but no, I'm not gonna go AFK right now. If I go AFK, I'm gonna get to the town first. I'll park it at a town before I go AFK. I can't believe we haven't got this item yet. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, maybe I have to do something specific with this item. No, this item is just a log that we can read. The only thing left to do is find the gem Tyrannus was seeking. Renee mentioned it being in the area, perhaps the Murlocs have it. Yeah, so we're just fighting Murlocs forever. JC, the afternoon's going really well. How are you? Roberto, thank you, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, it's still sweaty outside. Yeah, it's miserable here too. You know, we have a cooldown coming in a couple of days. I think after the weekend we're going to get a cold front and the highs are going to be back out in the 70s where they belong and not in the 90s. And I am very much looking forward to being able to go outside without just sweating instantly. If they were gonna have such a bad drop rate, it's like I almost wish it was anything but Murlocs we had to fight. Murlocs are always so stressful. There's always Murlocs that can heal themselves. Tactical Warrior 88 here today, 57 tomorrow. Yeah, don't you love weather like that, man? That kind of stuff will happen here in Michigan too, where it'll literally drop 30 degrees. You know, the high will drop 30 degrees in one day. And it's like, oh yeah, that's probably good for the human body. I'm sure it's fine. 90 one day, 50 the next. It's crazy. I'll take the 50 over the 90 any day. Yeah, the music here is amazing. I almost feel like the music here is too loud, but I have felt no compulsion to turn it down because it's so good. Roberto, thank you. Yeah, Elder Scrolls is really fun for me to play. I really like the stories that they tell. I think the stories are super good, and that playthrough is definitely going to continue. I have it kind of on pause right now because I'm really into doing the streaming, and I only have so much time in a day, but I'm definitely going to continue that ESO playthrough because the stories are so good. The side stories are so good too. It's like, it's amazing that like the side quests are so elaborate and the characters are so well written. I really do enjoy it for its storytelling. Well, my puppy found me, and he's not acting like he wants to lay down in my lap or anything. I wonder if he's trying to tell me that the big dog got into something upstairs that he shouldn't have. I wonder what he's trying to communicate with me by prancing about. That's a good point. We're getting Murloc fins, aren't we? How many do we have now? Let's see. We have 7, and we also have an inventory that's quickly filling up thanks to these small barnacle clams. Yeah, he is cute, but there's probably trouble going on. I'm gonna let future Robert worry about whatever happened upstairs with the dogs. I'll deal with that after stream. They're both alive, so that's what matters for right now. And we're alive too, and that matters also. Yeah, we have to be careful of our inventory. I don't think I've left any loot on the ground yet because everything is stacking, but when I do find that item, if we don't have space, we won't loot it. Right now, we have a little bit of space. It's the small barnacle clams that keep filling up the inventory. If I keep popping those open, we should be okay. Then again, if we're here for 20 more minutes, then our bags are definitely going to be irrevocably full. The bag add-on is Bagnon. I have Bagnon and then I have Leatrix Plus, which is vendoring automatically for us. Roberto, have a good day, man. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I find these spear throwers really, really annoying. I'm gonna try to run out of this area. I need a mental reset really quick on this whole area. I want to get off that island. I want to get away from the Murlocs for a minute. Just have a little mental reset. Paul, I think the Roblox comparison's a little bit uncharitable, but I do see what you mean. Yeah, the animations are they're 2004 rigs. That was like, this was top of the line animation in 2004, and you gotta imagine it probably went into development in like 2002. Yeah, it's part of the charm though. And the thing is, like, some of the races have better animations that have aged well, and some don't. The human male is a very blocky character animation, so that's part of it. Part of it is just the technology. The only gripe I have about the older animations is how some races hold their weapons. They hold various weapons differently, and I kind of wish they can go back and make like a weapon swing animation pass in Classic to kind of clean up and improve some of the weapon swings. Like, if you look at how like female trolls hold a two-handed axe and swing a two-handed axe, night elves are kind of the same. Some of them hold and swing weapons in a way that you wouldn't hold and swing that kind of weapon. And that's kind of the one thing that bothers me with immersion in the game sometimes, is if we're on a race class combination that has a strange looking weapon swing. That's the one thing I would say, like, if they could go back and do anything, any kind of work with that, that could improve things for me personally. Alex, I have the gem. Thanks, man. Yeah, eventually I probably would have noticed that my map was clear, but that might have taken several more minutes, so I appreciate the call out, brother. Good looking out. Look at that, we do have it, yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Let's get back to town. That quest took a lot longer than I thought it was going to when we originally came over here, so... If I had been really smart, we would have set the Hearthstone, but we didn't. Deepwater Tavern, that's Menethil. It's okay, it's not too long of a run back. Dan, we're not actually going into Seal of Command. We kind of talked about it. We had a little chat, and someone gave me some information about it and how it worked, and we've kind of decided against going into Seal of Command. So, yeah, in Seal of Command in Classic Era, like in Wrath of the Lich King, Seal of Command is awesome because it hits an additional target. So you're getting like some free AoE with it, some cleave. In Classic Era, it doesn't do that. It has a chance, and it doesn't tell you how much of a chance, to do additional holy damage, whereas Seal of Righteousness is always going to do the additional damage. Seal of Command has a chance to deal 70% of normal weapon damage. It judges for a little bit more if the enemy is stunned, but we're not stunning enemies and then judging them a lot of the time. Every once in a while we stun. And to me, Seal of Command in Classic Era feels almost more like a PvP thing. So yeah, we're sticking with Seal of Righteousness, and to facilitate that, we're going to go into Improved Seal of Righteousness, which is going to increase the damage for us by a substantial percentage once we have 5 points there. And that's what we're doing. We're skipping Seal of Command. You know, I've taken Seal of Command before in Classic Era, way back in the day, and then I never used the seal. I end up not using it because it never feels like it's doing comparable damage. And I guess even with the proc is procking a lot, it can only proc like 7 times in a minute or something. So I feel like getting the for sure damage increase here is going to be worth a lot more. And I don't know if I'm numerically right, but just from how it has felt before in the past, and just thinking about that chance, that unknown chance to deal the damage, I don't like things that are chances. If I could pick a guaranteed damage increase over a chance at a damage increase, I'm going to take the guaranteed one even if it's a little bit lower overall. It's just more predictable. Antifin, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I am doing well. I hope you're doing well.
I am honored.
12 Pride Wing Venom Sacs.
Del Nadris.
A Pride Wing. Oh, that's down in Stonetalon. Interesting. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some stuff in Stonetalon on the Alliance. I never really have.
What brings you here?
Apparently we told her about that dude's death, and she took that pretty hard. Mastrius, thank you, man. That's super generous of you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Farewell.
Ishnu Allah.
Yeah, JC, when I was in my 20s, I worked at a collision shop detailing cars. And this was way before I had any kind of fitness regimen or anything. And I remember cleaning cars and detailing cars all day, and then just like sweating in the shop and getting home. I would eat dinner at like 5:30, and I'd be asleep by 6, and I would sleep until the next day, because with the heat and just the physical activity of the job, it was so exhausting.
I'm listening. Good luck, friend.
Claptap 3K, thank you, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. So the problem I'm having here, I'm not familiar with Ashenvale on the Alliance side, so I'm looking at some of these quest objectives and I'm wondering, is this going to be a place or an objective that gets me killed really quickly and suddenly? The grind is going well. I'm very much enjoying the grind, especially now that we're streaming the grind and I get to talk to you guys and hang out. It has been a ton of fun, and I really appreciate all of you guys being here for it. I'd really love to hit level 24, and then yeah, we can go back to the city, we can train. I need to empty my bags. Alright, let's go vendor. I should have definitely done that already, so let's go do it now. And where do we want to head next? Level 24, level 22, level 25. Are we done here for now? We've done all the low level stuff. We have the Stonetail and Peak. That's the lowest level stuff we have. How do we get over here? I'm not sure how we get there. Maybe there's a cave or something that we go through? Paul, we get consecration when we spec into it in classic era, so we're a little ways away from it. We have to come here to get consecration. We have to go into the holy tree, which we are doing. We are going into the holy tree, but it's going to take a while to get down to it. We're going to put all 5 points in improved seal of righteousness, and then we're going to grab it. And that will be the end of our journey into the holy tree. Yeah, it's not baseline in classic era. I didn't realize that either until we were like level 20, and I was wondering why we didn't have consecrate yet. Guys, since we're safe here, I need to step away for about 3 minutes. I understand if you don't want to stick around and like stare at a character that's not moving, but I need about 3 minutes to get some water and bio and just stretch my legs a little bit, and then I will be right back. This is a safe spot. Live life strong. We'll see you later, man. Take care. Thanks for being here. And the dog check. Yeah, I need to find out what the dogs had. They were bouncing around on the floor above me. So slash dance. Yeah, I can dance. Not in real life, but there we go. Yeah, that's appropriate. I'm sure we don't have any lewd or inappropriate dance moves on a human male. Alright, I'll be back, guys. Couple minutes. Alright, I'm basically back. I'm still munching on a snack, but I am here.
Ashenvale.
Yeah, Taxiarchus, we're pretty sure that on the official servers there's just not going to be any res. So your character's going to die and you'll just be a ghost. We're assuming that, yeah. We don't have any details exactly about how the official realm is going to work, but we can speculate. So yeah, now I'm back, but I'm dealing with a dog in my lap situation. I don't know if you guys can... you can't see Goomba. But yeah, he's here. He's in my lap, and he's getting big for the lap, especially when he won't go into ball form and just kind of stay that way. So yeah, that's what we got going on right now. Turktian, you're not late, man. You're right on time because this is when you got here. So you can't be late. You're exactly on time. Yeah, exactly, man. You can't be late. You come here when you can, if you want. And that's it. You're never late. And we're still alive, so you didn't miss anything. Taxiarchus, anything that kills you counts. So yeah, if you die in a dungeon, you're dead. Duels I don't know, but if you do some PvP, like some world PvP, and you die, you're dead. Yeah, it definitely counts. The dueling I don't know. I'm not a big PvPer, so... You can't do battlegrounds at all, right? There's no battlegrounds. Or how does that work? That I don't know. And yeah, the rule with the dungeons is each character can clear a boss one time. So you can't repeat dungeons over and over again. You clear them once, and that's all you can do on each character. Sammy, the version you're looking at right now is WoW Classic. This is Classic era WoW Classic, so when you're thinking about World of Warcraft, there's World of Warcraft Dragonflight, which is the current retail expansion. There is World of Warcraft Classic Wrath of the Lich King, which is the most current Classic expansion, and then there's Classic Era Realms, where we're in Vanilla. So right now, this is the Vanilla version of the game. As close to what it would have been in 2004, 2005. Yeah, Wrath is the current retail, or current Classic expansion. As far as they've pushed Classic is into Wrath of the Lich King. And you can play that in Classic, or you can play in actual Vanilla era. So I'm trying to work my way back to this Tear of Elune thing, but it's the terrain that's really giving me just an awful time. I think we're gonna have to go around there's a trail. We're gonna have to take that little trail back that I see on the minimap, aren't we? Daryl, you do have to be level 40 for the mount in Vanilla era. In Wrath of the Lich King, it's level 20 for your first mount. I believe it's 20. Is it 20 or 30, guys, in Wrath? I feel like it's 20. JC, I love Burning Crusade as well, and I wish they had let Burning Crusade have a little bit more time to exist. And I don't know why really they rushed through it like they did. I mean, they obviously had to know you only get to do Classic once. You know, you release a Classic expansion, you're only ever going to get to do that one time. So why they rushed BC like they did, I really don't get it. Cameron, hello. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Auntie, you can't play TBC. So what happened with TBC is all the TBC servers became Wrath of the Lich King servers when Wrath came out. They didn't freeze any servers in the TBC state the way they did for the vanilla era. So yeah, there are no TBC servers. You can't play TBC as TBC. You obviously can go to Outland, but you can't play TBC Classic. Yeah, there's probably enough demand for it that they could have gotten away with running one server at least. I feel like having one TBC server would not have been too hard for them to manage. And that way, you know, there might not be a lot of people who want to play there, but if it's only one server, it should be okay. And they just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to keep that server going, so they just made them all Wrath servers, and you can play Wrath or you can play Vanilla. Imagine how outraged people are going to be when all the Wrath of the Lich King servers become Cataclysm servers, and there's no more Wrath of the Lich King. OP Guards, thank you. I hope so. I hope this is our first character to 60. I really want to get a character to 60 on Bloodsail Buccaneers before we move to the Blizzard server. That is kind of my goal. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if we have time, because we don't know when they're going to push those servers out, but I feel good about the Paladin. Lane, you get mad just thinking about when they're going to move to Cata and get rid of all the Wrath servers? Yeah. I don't know if anyone's thought too much about that yet, but yeah, if they didn't want to maintain Burning Crusade servers pushing forward into Wrath, there's probably no way they're going to want to maintain Wrath of the Lich King servers pushing forward into Cataclysm. Okay, so we're back here, we're done with this quest. I wonder if there's a way I can get down here, maybe like a gap in the mountains. It doesn't really look like it. It looks like we'd have to go all the way around. Yeah, Mike, they could do that, but the thing is, they're probably not going to, because they didn't do it for Burning Crusade. And I forget what their reasoning was. Part of it was they thought that those realms would just end up being empty. They didn't see the reason to sustain them, I guess. And it's going to be more of the same. The old world needs to stay. Yeah, it does. But, you know, what they'll say is that the old world will always be there in Classic Era Vanilla. That'll be what they say when they push the Wrath of the Lich King servers into Cataclysm and they don't offer any Wrath play or TBC. They'll say, well, you still get to keep Vanilla Era. Be happy about it. Nobody wants Classic Cata. Dan, I don't think anybody wants it. And Blizzard has to know this by now. So it'll be really interesting to see if they decide to go through with Cata Classic. They've sent out at least 2 different polls have asked about people's interest in Cata Classic. And I don't think anybody's really interested in it. I don't want it to be Classic. I would rather play Cata if it was like Cataclysm Reforged kick. You know, something different that doesn't put it in the Classic era. I don't want it to feel like, you know, because that's not Classic anymore. You've remade the world. Would it be cool to play through some of that content? Yeah, I think I would enjoy playing through some of it again. But I wouldn't want it to become like the current version of Classic. I don't think it has a place in Classic. I like Cataclysm Reforged and have it be its own set of servers for people that want to go on that journey. Yeah, Lane, I think we can all agree that Cataclysm, the game, fundamentally changed, not just physically in the remaking of the old world, but in the systems, in the way that the game played and felt. It was definitely the biggest leap towards the retail version of the game that we have today. The best thing about Cataclysm was the first week after launch, the heroic 5-mans were way overtuned. They were super hard. If you had 3 CCs, you used 3 CCs every pull because they were super hard. And we had a ton of fun with those in my guild, and we were all very, very upset when they all got super nerfed into the ground and were no longer a challenge. Yeah, Tactical Warrior, I was working my way over there, but it was getting convoluted and then I got distracted. I am going to head up here and get this one turned in, if I can find the way. Turkton, you say you wish they would do a seasonal progression server like old school EQ does? That would be cool. And with old school EQ, don't they push through the expansions, like, is it like every 3 months they push out the next expansion in the progression? And then they just, every couple of years they just do a reset, they do a new server and they do a new progression server, right? Yeah. I almost checked out EQ the last time they did a progression server fresh start, but man, I logged into the game. I couldn't even really figure out how to attack things. I would need some serious guidance in how to do anything in EQ because it was indecipherable to me. I got into the idea of EQ because I watched Co play on one of the progression servers and I'm like, that looks really cozy and interesting. And then when I tried to do it myself, it did not turn out well. Nick Bird, you're bummed out that the WoW token killed your mood to play Wrath Classic? Yeah. I don't blame just the WoW token, but the WoW token was one of the nails that go into the coffin. Getting the WoW token without them even talking about LFD was the most painful part. And yeah, it wasn't hype, right? When they release WoW token into the game, you don't get hyped, okay? Like, I don't know what they're thinking. They're like, that's not gonna make anybody happy. And the people that it's gonna make happy, the people who want to spend real life money on gold, like, that's a subset of the community that's not gonna be a hype for them. They're just gonna go spend their money on gold. They're happy about it because they get to do that. But it doesn't create any kind of positive hype for the game, for sure. And it definitely can deflate people. It can deflate you even if it doesn't directly negatively impact you, because you just sense that it's just not great for the community at large. But it's gonna make the shareholders happy. Yeah, Mike, that's absolutely right, man. More money, buddy. Turk-Teen, that's exactly right. Inflation, man. Inflation will wreck an economy. It wrecks any economy. If you have unbridled, if you pump money into the economy artificially, you will destroy it. Prices of everything will go up over time. The speed at which the prices go up will be dependent on how many people purchase gold. But it'll happen inevitably no matter what. Right now, Blizzard says the average player won't need a WoW token to sustain their weekly rating and their whatnot. But eventually they will need a WoW token, or they'll have to play more because the price of everything is going to go up. Alright, well, we're close to level 24. I don't know if I want to fight these guys down here. These guys look really tough. Let's head back to Astronar. Let's turn this one in. I feel like this is going to ding us. If it doesn't ding us, we'll just fight a few more things, we'll get our level, and then we'll get somewhere that we can actually train. And once we're level 24, we might be able to entertain the idea of going back into Duskwood a little bit, or doing some more stuff over in Red Ridge. I feel like we've done most of what we should do here for now. There's Stone Talon we could think about. I don't know how to get there from here unless there's a cave somewhere. But maybe we do that just to get the flight points? Oh, choices. Yeah, Turktine, I don't think we'll ever see Blizzard sell private servers or sign off on any of that stuff. They're very, very, very protective of just they want people to be on the official servers, they want their money, and they want it their way. You'd think maybe we would see them open things up to like private servers or even modders and stuff to see like what kinds of cool things they could do with Classic Era especially. But they're never going to, because they're just too big. They're owned by Activision, they're too big, they can't make those choices. There's a cave below Astronar, like down here somewhere? Directly south of Astronar somewhere? Maybe we'll go check that out and see if we can find it. Yeah, you gotta understand when we're talking about game companies that the developers, the people who make the things that go into the video game, those are not the people who make choices about how the game functions, what gets to go in it. They create the assets and they do like the art and stuff, but those aren't the same people who are making the financial choices to include things like the WoW token or to put in a cash shop. Those choices are made by people who don't design video games. Those choices are made by executives and CEOs and VPs and people much higher up in the actual running of the company. The devs don't get a say. It doesn't matter. The whole art team can be up in arms and like they hate the WoW token. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't get to pick and choose. They're just making the game. They're not running the company. Running the company is done by other people that make a lot more money and they don't play video games. If we're lucky, they vaguely understand video games, but that's usually not the case either. Like, if you want to get sick to your stomach, read an interview with Bobby Kotick trying to talk about fucking video games. And just listen to the disgusting double-speak corporate speak that he uses about everything. It'll literally turn your stomach. Those are the kinds of people that run companies and make decisions for those companies as far as how they're going to make money from the players. And also keep in mind, when you're talking about a publicly traded corporation, their only objective is to make the shareholders more money. That's the #1 objective of a publicly traded company, is they want the shareholders have to get more money. Every decision that's made, they have to be able to say, this is how it's going to improve shareholders. And if they can't point to that, then they're not going to be able to do the thing. Execs are not just out of touch with the community, they don't give a shit about the community. To be quite frank, they were never in touch. The executives at Activision, were never in touch with any community. Except it was like in their gated community full of their mansions and yachts. They're into that community. So, yeah. A little bit different than our community here. Jory Pessonen, thank you for saying that, man. I appreciate you. I don't think it's true. I think I'm almost an awful player, but I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you being here. Yeah, when someone who's trying to sell you something tells you, you'll love it, you just don't understand it. Once you understand it, you'll love to spend your money on it. That's when you know you're talking to a bullshitter. When they're trying to explain to you that you just don't understand it, and that's why you don't see the value in it, that's when someone is conning you. Assidious1864 asked, do I need a super rig to play this? Haven't played since WoD. If you had a computer that could play WoD, and you still have that same rig, you can definitely play Classic Era. You could probably play Classic Era on a modern graphics calculator. Like a graphing calculator could play it. Right now I'm playing on a Gateway computer from 2001. That last part wasn't true, but everything else was. Alright, so we're looking for the cave into Stone Talon. Is it going to be a little bit more to the west or a little bit more to the east? Luke, yeah, this is hardcore. We can die physically, but if we do die, we cannot res. I'm going to check out over here to the west. Nickberg, you ordered a new PC today? Where did you get it from? What company did you go with? If you don't mind my asking. I got my rig from iBuyPower. Talon Deep Path. Yeah, that sounds like a pathway. I just don't know exactly where it is. Right on, you have an actual like local PC store. That's awesome. Yeah, we don't have a lot of like local PC shops and stuff where I'm at. We have Micro Center, but I don't know if they'll build a rig for you. You can buy computer parts there. Where am I from in the U.S.? I'm from Michigan originally, and I live in Michigan right now. Spent almost 8 years living in Missouri and Kansas City. And now we're back in Michigan. Southeastern part of Michigan. The northern part of the southeastern part. Yeah, I'm not seeing this pathway. Let's head down here a little bit. Run through all these aggressive mobs. That's a smart idea. This looks like an area where I'm going to encounter demons. Yeah, see, demons. I don't really want to encounter demons. We have a demon on us. Not good. You know what? We have exorcism. I wonder... Oh, that was nice. Is that always... Oh, that's always an instant cast in Classic Era? I didn't know that. This guy is just beating the living crap out of us. Was it a culture shock when I moved to Missouri? No. A lot of places in the US just feel the same to me. Every place just feels the same to me. What was kind of different is like people are nicer in Kansas City. People are just like generally just kinder, like just people you pass on the street and stuff. But I don't know if it was a culture shock necessarily. You know what was a shock was the fact that, you know, once it hits like June 10th in Missouri, it's 100 degrees for like 6 months after that. It was a physical shock. I remember we moved in on June 13th, and then yeah, it was the first year we were there, it was 100 degrees until like the middle of September after that. And that was pretty miserable. I don't feel like I'm finding the pathway here. Maybe a little bit further, but I don't think I want to run through this demon area. I'm not even sure if it lets out where we're trying to go, so maybe we should just go around the long way and keep safe. As safe as we can. I would like to go get that flight point at least, but if it just keeps getting more and more dangerous, we might just hearth out of here. And get our training and stuff done, and then figure out what we want to do next. Yeah, Dan, the mage death was totally my fault, though. I went back into that building, what, 4 different times when I knew I shouldn't be in there? I was having a really off day, and I was not in a good mindset or a good frame of mind to be playing hardcore. And I got really stubborn inside myself, and I got us killed. And yeah, it was totally avoidable because I just shouldn't have been doing that. After the 3rd time I had to run away, that should have been like the tip-off that I should stop going back into the building. I regret that one a lot because it was definitely just it was me. I got us killed. Yeah, Dan, it's a quest that these days, like, I probably would not try to do that quest ever again. Because, yeah, just getting into that building safely seemed impossible. It seemed like you had to pull 3 guys to get into the door. And we were never going to survive that at that level. And I should have just bailed on it and gone and done something else. I'm not seeing the pathway over here either, guys. So maybe it's back. Maybe it's actually back here to the east. Huh. You know what? Let's just cut our losses, and I'd like to go train 24. This is going to take us back to the Deepwater Tavern, and then we can fly to Ironforge. And we can kind of think about what we want to do next. Are there any games I'm excited to play other than WoW and D4 in the immediate future? I don't think so. I haven't really been keeping up on game releases. And the only stuff I really look for open world RPGs, stuff like that. There's no MMOs coming out this year, I don't think. What are we waiting on? We're waiting on Ashes of Creation to ever exist.
Hey there.
And what was the other one that has basically turned into a EverQuest clone? The one that Co-Carnage is basically funding himself now. Is it Pantheon Rise of the Fallen?
See you around.
New Final Fantasy? What new is it Final Fantasy 16? Is that the new Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy, besides Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy stories stopped resonating with me or being interesting to me really after Final Fantasy 9. I played Final Fantasy 10, I didn't get into it. I played Final Fantasy 12, that was like the story of Star Wars recapitulated back at me in a fantasy setting, so I didn't finish that one. Final Fantasy 13 I couldn't get into. And then 14 has an amazing story and an amazing world and feels like a Final Fantasy game. I haven't really seen much for Final Fantasy 16, but some of the trailers I did see just make the game seem like it's basically Devil May Cry. It seems insane. It's like a Devil May Cry meets Attack on Titan. I don't know. It's gotten a little too wacky for me in a way. And I think Final Fantasy's got too wacky for me because I don't really watch anime. And I think Final Fantasies have always been rooted in that kind of storytelling and characterization and stuff. Which doesn't mean I won't try it if I hear awesome things about it. It would have to be really open world, and from what I saw, the trailers, it didn't seem open world. It seemed very level based. That's why I kind of saw Devil May Cry in its DNA. Ashes of Creation. Isn't Ashes of Creation the one where just recently in their long development cycle they switched everything to Unreal 5? Like, they had developed most of the game for years and years in Unreal 4, and then they just, they went to Unreal 5. It's going to add, 5 years of development time to the game. I worry that none of these MMOs are ever going to come out. That's what I worry about, that they're just never going to come out. Dan, you don't want to see me play Souls games, man. Especially not the original Souls games, because I am bad. I am bad. I wish I was good. I would love to play some Dark Souls. I'd love to play some Elden Ring, but ultimately, I am not a good player at the. I don't have the reflexes ingrained in me. I'd have to spend so much time playing in order to even become proficient, I feel like. I would probably do an Elden Ring run someday. When they announce an expansion for Elden Ring, that'll be a good time to do a fresh run. And I'll probably just go caster playthrough to make it just a little bit easier on myself. As much as I would love to do like a big two-handed strength build, I can't dodge that well, man. I'm not good enough at it. I'm too much of a spaz. We did not get a lot of cool stuff that level. That is true.
Safe travels.
Star Citizen will turn your computer into a heater. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Was there a DLC announced for 2023 for Elden Ring? Oh. Why no hype around it? I haven't seen a lot of hype or anything around it at all. I'll look into that and we'll see. It got pushed back, yeah. I mean, maybe that's why there's no hype. There's a picture and that's all. Yeah, that's not enough for me. When they have a date, when they tell us a general date, then I think it would be an okay time to start an Elden Ring playthrough. How long am I going to stream for today? Today, I don't know how much longer we'll stream. I'm going to come back later and play some Diablo, I think. For right now, I'm not sure. Lane, we're never going to see a Lord of the Rings MMO, man. Amazon's going to have it in development for 7 years and they're eventually going to shit can it. Because the thing about corporations these days is like leaders don't stay in place for more than a handful of years because they're all just trying to pad their resumes to go get higher paying jobs somewhere else. So with leaders never staying in place, like long-term plans can't happen. Long-term projects get shit canned because the leaders and the people who envision them leave before the project is finished. So yeah, we're never going to see a Lord of the Rings MMO out of Amazon Studios. If we do, it'd be like 10 years from now, and by then no one will care. I wish I could be more optimistic, man, but like I've seen so many MMOs come out and flop in my life. And so like that's what happened. Like for a while they made MMOs and they all flopped. And now instead of making MMOs and releasing them, they just put them in development for 10 years. They milk their Kickstarters and make a shit ton of money, and then maybe the game never comes out. That's what it really seems like. Bags, smelt, cook. I know, I need to be doing things, right? Not just running my mouth. Bags suck. Smelting needs to get done. And then we probably need to visit the bank. The bank is probably getting full.
I've the finest wares in the land.
Simon, greetings, friend. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We need to sell so much more.
See you soon.
Where is the mining trainer? We should be able to train some more smelting stuff. I don't see a mining trainer. Oh, he's back here. I have not tanked any dungeons. I'm waiting for one of you guys to send me a whisper telling me you're putting a group together and asking me to tank. And that's probably the only way that I'll dungeon on this character right now. I don't have a big interest in pugging it. For lots of reasons.
What's on your mind?
You are a mining supplier, you are a mining trainer. Smelt bronze, smelt tin, smelt silver. Okay, there we go, that's better. And of course they can teach us the smelting, but they don't have a place here for us to actually do the smelting, so we do have to run back out to the Great Forge. I probably did sell all the cooking mats. Of course I did. No, I kept the Murloc fins. Murloc fins? I sold probably everything else. What do I need? I need hot spices to make that stuff. Dan, we are on Bloodcell Buccaneers with this one. How am I feeling about the Paladin compared to my other runs? I'm really loving the Paladin. The Paladin has a lot of survivability. I've been able to run away from stuff that probably should have killed me. So that's nice. And we've been streaming a lot of this one recently, so I've really been enjoying that, and that's kind of making it into my favorite run. That has nothing to do with the class, but just has to do with my experience. Nick, you want to know if I'm still playing Wrath? Right now I'm not. Yeah, I put Wrath on hold for now. I have no like internal emotional excitement to play Wrath, and while I could just make myself play it, and that would be something I could do, I'd rather not. And I think if I go back to Wrath, it'll probably be on the Tauren Warrior, just to see the Northrend stuff for the Horde side. I've never read most of those quests, so I would love to read the quest in Northrend on the Horde side. And that would, and the only real way I would go back to Wrath is when they tell us when we're gonna get the Looking for Dungeon tool. I will play some Wrath of the Lich King and have a good experience with that. And until then, I'm just kind of burned out on it. I don't have as much fun in Wrath as I do play in the hardcore stuff, so... I have a ton of mats in the bank for blacksmithing, I think, Tactical Warrior. I think I have a ton of stuff. I think it's all ore, though. We'll have to smelt that stuff, too. Is Goomba the channel's mascot? I mean, kind of. He's sleeping in my lap still right now. He's the closest thing to a mascot we're gonna have, I think. Taxiarchus, thank you for hanging out, man. I appreciate you being here. Take care out there. Have a nice dinner. That sounds lovely. Goomba cam. We could do a Goomba cam, but I'm like, right now I don't know about just constantly pointing the camera at my crotch the entire stream, because right now he's in my lap. It might give people the wrong idea about what kind of stream this is. Yeah, he just wants to sleep in my lap. I have another office chair next to me where I've kind of put one of his beds up in the office chair. I call that his chair bed, but he likes to just crawl into my lap instead. Yeah, we'd have to call it the crotch cam, which is inappropriate. I don't even know if I can say that. Yeah, then exactly. So Goomba gets up and leaves, and we don't adjust the camera, right? That's a problem. That could be a problem. Okay, yeah, let's go to the bank and we'll see what we got going on there. We'll see if we can clean some of it out and maybe do some more smelting. Yeah, if I could consistently get him to sleep in his chair bed, then that would be an awesome idea. He makes the transition and sometimes I don't even realize what's happening until it's too late and he's been asleep in my lap for 30 minutes. I could probably move him, but I don't want to risk waking him up. all we want to see is Goomba. That's fair, yeah. That's why I don't have the camera on right now, because I am aware that no one needs to or wants to see me, so... you are an auctioneer. This is not the bank. I don't even think I can click on you. That was a close one. We almost clicked on an auctioneer.
Talk to me.
Goomba is a Jack Russell Terrier. Here, we'll do this. Everyone's asking for it really quick, but we'll just... He's sleeping right now. So, that's what's going on with that. Let's see. Yeah, we have lots of stuff that we can smelt.
Be good.
Yeah, Joe, he is small. He's only going to be 12 pounds full grown. He's a Jack Russell. He might be Jack Russell Rat Terrier. He's got pointy ears, and Jack Russells I thought were supposed to have slightly folded ears. And his ears are definitely straight up, which makes me believe that he might have some Rat Terrier in him. The tin ore. Tin ore? I had tin ore that I didn't grab? You guys like hearing me talk about stain removal, huh? Cold water and a washcloth to soak it up. I can keep saying this all the time. I don't mind giving that kind of household advice.
Watch your back.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub the stain in. That's not how you gotta dab it and let it soak into the fabric and away from the fabric that you don't want it and into the cold towel. I hope that makes sense. My blue healer's name is D-O-G. D-O-G. My wife named him. I told her that you shouldn't give an animal a joke name, but she did. So his name is D-O-G. D-O-G. Dog. I've had the face cam up a couple of times. People wanted to see my puppy who's sleeping in my lap, so yeah, I flipped it on for a minute. I don't mind having it on. It's a distraction. I don't think it really adds much to the content. And then I have to worry about like all the stupid facial expressions that I probably make while I'm playing. I mean, I don't have to worry about them, but I am conscious of the fact that that's happening. Nickberg, I look way cooler than you thought I would look? Thanks, man. I don't really know how to gauge that, but I appreciate the sentiment. $51 copper. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. I appreciate you guys. Don't give me any compliments. I don't want to blush on stream. Masculine Giga Gamer. Yeah, that's me. Just a Giga Chad. My icon, my key art is what I look like. And I've told people that before. Somebody once told me that I had stolen the key art from another creator because it looked similar, and I kind of had the thought like, well, me and that person probably look similar in real life too, that's why our icon looks the same. I didn't steal someone's icon, I just look like what I look like, and therefore my icon looks like what I look like. Yeah, it bothers you that my glasses don't turn random colors based on the game I'm playing. That bothers me too. I wish that they would. They have a blue filter in them, but you can't see the blue filter. It's just something that's there in the lens. You were expecting a cowboy hat? If I had a cowboy hat, that would be in my icon art, man. That would be like a part of the whole thing. Oh, Super Soaker? Yeah, people told me that I sounded like Super Soaker and that my content was similar to his. And then I found him and saw what he looked like, and we could be twins. It was really kind of spooky. Yeah. Daniel Phillips asked if I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym right now, but I've weightlifted for 18 years. I have stuff at home. I have dumbbells and a bench and stuff that I use at home now. Sometimes I go to I do it in stints, so I went to the gym for like a year. I'll take a year off of it and I'll work out at home. Sometimes I feel social and I want to go to the gym and be around other people. But most of the time I just want to do my thing without having to worry about other people being around. People try to talk to me at the gym. They try to like ask me for like advice and stuff, and like, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm just a person who's managed to lift weights for 18 years without hurting myself in any significant way. Free weights, yeah. Yeah, dumbbells, free weights. What am I making for dinner? Probably a frozen pizza for myself. My wife went out with the boy, so I'm gonna be here by myself with the dogs. It's probably gonna be frozen pizza. I look tall? You're very perceptive. I'm 6'4". Yeah. I'm surprised you're able to ascertain that. Good one, man. People often ask me if I was in radio. I taught classes for H&R Block, so I was a classroom facilitator for half of the year, and I wrote training materials for the other half. And so I developed my voice a bit over time, because it used to be that I couldn't talk in front of people at all, and that when I did talk in front of people, I talked super fast. Cardio is rough, JC. Cardio is like the roughest part of my workout. I like the idea of running, but like I hate it in practice because I'm getting old and my joints just aren't what they used to be. I try to just keep my heart rate above 120 while I'm lifting weights, and to me that anything above 120 to me qualifies as cardio range, so that's kind of what I focus on. I run for about a mile, and that's about as far as I'll push myself. I figure if I ever have to run for more than a mile, some really bad shit's happening in real life. So I figure as long as I can run a mile, I should be okay for most situations. How did I get better at talking? By practicing a lot. By getting a lot of coaching from people who knew how to facilitate and knew how to speak publicly. And just a lot of practice and taking feedback from people. I get to 120 running to the fridge. Well, there you go. You did your cardio for today. That's perfect. Now stay at 120 for 30 minutes, and you'll be doing really good. Auntie, what I've done is, as I've gotten older, I don't push myself nearly as hard anymore. You know, I used to press for like my max weight and how much can I lift. I don't do that stuff anymore. I lift about 80% of what I can lift, and I'm just happy at that. I had to get out of the habit of pushing myself because I knew I was going to hurt myself eventually. Yeah, Alex, my problem was that my mouth and brain were both way too fast, and I had to learn how to slow both of them down, which it takes time. And a lot of people don't end up in positions in life where they have to develop the ability to speak in front of others. And then like the later in life you have to learn that stuff, the harder it gets. Let's see. We did all of our smelting. Can we really make a lot of anything? We can make some chain belts. What about down here? Nothing else down here. Tactical warrior, man. I don't know if I'm gonna let all the bandages run right now. I think I'm gonna let the bandages run when I go to log out, because it's a lot of bandages, right? And we have to train wool bandage too. It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot. So I don't know if I'll do that right now. You've nicknamed your fridge Gym, so you can say that you spend a lot of hours at the gym. That's actually super smart.
How are ya? How are ya? See you.
Will I have another vote for the next hardcore character? I may, but I may just roll a priest, because I kind of got the idea of a priest stuck in my head earlier. I should stick the cloth in the bank, yeah. I shouldn't carry it around. Can you guess my zodiac sign? I don't know, can you? You probably could, if you know a lot about the zodiac. I think I revealed when I was born, so I'm pretty sure I revealed my birth month, so if you were there for that, you wouldn't be guessing. But otherwise, guess away. Will I tell you if you get it right? Maybe. Yeah, I think I will go priest. You know what? As strong as the paladin is, it's not like I haven't had that thought. Like, do we turn around and do another paladin? I just can't do it. I can't do it. For the content, I can't do it.
You got my attention.
Okay, so let's put all this stuff back in the bank for now. I'm not gonna let that run right now. And then we need to sell all the stuff that we have crafted. Let's just pop that in there for now. Okay, are we good with that? I feel like we could do better. And now we're full.
Off with you.
Okay, that should be good. Curry Muncher, you want to know, were you pretty mature when you started streaming? Can you ever be too old to start? No, you can't ever be too old to do something that you want to do. You can't ever be too old to do something that you love to do. Age has nothing to do with enjoying things or what you can and can't do. Don't ever think that you're too old to start doing something new. That's not a good mentality to let yourself have, because journey before destination. You're not trying to get anywhere. You're not ever gonna get anywhere. You're gonna have a life, and you need to make sure that you're doing shit that makes you really happy. Preferably stuff that you love, that you think, that triggers parts of your brain that say, yes, you were doing something meaningful, and that you love. And don't ever say, I can't do this or that because the time has passed, or I'm too old. You don't know how much time you get. The patterns in the bank were probably cooking stuff. I should have looked at them. I don't think I would have thrown any other patterns in there. We haven't found any blacksmithing patterns. So, yeah. I need to find a vendor really quick before we get on a flight anywhere. Nick Berg, right now I'm reading through Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books. I've finished Mistborn Era 1, Mistborn Era 2, and I am on the second book of the Stormlight Archive. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. And they are amazing, amazing books. Start with the first Mistborn trilogy, and then see how you feel. Dan, I don't know if it's wisdom, it's just lessons that I've learned in my life from wasting too much time. I know those things because I have spent time wasting time coming up with excuses for why I couldn't do this or that, and eventually I had to move past those things. It increases my attack. You know, I've never used this. I'm just gonna sell it. I've never used it. It's been in my bags forever. Ryan Wallace, thank you so much, man. That's super generous of you. And thanks for being here.
Safe travels. Hi.
I should buy that next bank slot. We don't have a bag right now. I could afford an 8-slot bag. It's only 25 silver, that's true. And we did just train, so we have lots of money. Next time we need to put stuff in the bank, I'll buy another bag slot and we'll get some more space there. Nick Berg, my dream when I was younger was to be a writer as well. You know, when I was growing up and when I was in high school, I was so cocky. I thought for sure that I was going to graduate high school and I was going to start writing fantasy novels because I thought I was the bomb. And that's not how it works, I found out after too long. That just wasn't how it works. But yeah, I always thought that I would be a writer. I thought I would write fantasy books.
Great to meet you.
That did not pan out, but I spent a lot of time writing. Writing stuff that no one thankfully will ever have to read. Yeah, I think maybe we go back to wetlands, right? Wetlands?
Good.
Yeah, the Green Warden stuff is lower level. We could do that.
What can I do for you?
Oh snap, it's 5 o'clock PM my time. Guys, I could keep going, but I feel like maybe I should get off of here soon. Is this the first time I've revealed myself? No, I put the face cam on earlier today. This might have been the first day that I put the cam on. I'm not hiding, I just don't think that my face and expressions add a lot to the content. And I often make weird expressions. I chew my lips, I grind my teeth a bit if I'm in a stressful situation. I do all kinds of stupid stuff with my mouth and face. Luckily, the microphone kind of hides most of the stupidity. You think the face cam makes it more engaging? Yeah, I think from like an interaction standpoint, it makes it more engaging, sure. Or from like an immersed in the content standpoint, it's probably distracting. So I'll probably turn it on sometimes, and I'll have it off other times. I don't think I'm going to have a hard and fast rule about whether it's going to be on or off.
See you soon.
The face cam makes it feel more personal for you guys, which is great. Remember, I don't get to see what you guys look like, and if this were like a corporate meeting or a Skype meeting, I would see all your little faces right below my face. And we'd have that kind of equality where we'd get to see each other. And streaming is very one-sided when it comes to that. And I feel like for me, there's more anxiety in that, because when I taught classes, I was in a room in front of 30 or 40 people, and they could see my whole being, but I could see them too. And that made me feel more at ease. Whereas having the camera and just kind of, I don't get to see you guys, it's an adjustment for me. What's my occupation? Right now I do this. I don't know if I call it an occupation. It's a hobby that I love. It's not a job. It's a hobby that I love. It checks the box in my brain that makes me feel like I'm doing meaningful work. Yeah. And I'm really lucky. I have an amazing partner who has a great job that she loves. And she tolerates me doing this and pursuing what I love, even though what I love is not a traditional job. It might be a scary prospect if I could see all the people in chat. Yeah, it probably would be for some people. But it would be fair. It would be fair. It would be even. It could be a scary prospect for some people that have to see me. Everyone's different. I don't shave my head. I buzz it. Yeah, no, I don't oil it up. I can grow hair. I don't really like to, and my hairline is receded quite a bit. I buzz it when it gets too long. I used to shave it sometimes, but I never got really great at it, and when you bleed from your head, it bleeds a lot, and it always looks a lot worse than it is. Opagard asked if I do this full time. I do this a lot. I do it as much as I want because I love it. But like I said, it's not a job. I don't have a job in the sense that no one else besides Google writes me a check. So the money I make doing this. But I don't think in terms of like full-time, part-time, because this is something that I love to do, so I just do it as much as I can, while I can. Auntie, it's never gonna be a job, because the way I think about a job is something you do to make the money you have to make, and it's not usually something that you love. Because if you love something, you refer to it as your work. You don't really refer to something as a job that you love. No one loves a job. People often grow to love what they do for work, and they should. Because humans, we have to do meaningful work in order to feel satisfied in life. And what happens to a lot of people is they are just in situations where you have to work a job, any job you can, to make ends meet. And for a lot of people, they aren't lucky enough to end up in jobs that they can turn into meaningful work and feel happy with.
For the Alliance.
I'm lucky enough that I don't have to work a job like that anymore. I've worked plenty of jobs that were awful. I've talked about some of them. Michael, you don't think you'd be comfortable talking to 100 people? Yeah, I can see that. I got used to standing in front of 30 to 40 people in a classroom and just being in a room with people, and that was a really hard adjustment. And there's always some nervous energy that I still feel to this day. And I feel it when I sit down to stream too. It's just this initial nervous energy, but it's a positive thing actually. And once you get used to it, you use that energy, that nervous energy, you can kind of channel it. Why am I so zoomed out on my character? Oh, zoomed in. Yeah, because I'm dumb and I make poor choices. Being out like this is what you should do to survive. I'm used to running my playthroughs like this because for a long time we were just doing immersive runs before we were doing hardcore, so I got used to playing like this because this is kind of how I prefer to see the game. But in hardcore, you want to be back here. Yeah, you're totally right. I'm talking to the mic, not anyone in particular. I mean, right now I'm talking to you. So I am often talking to somebody in particular, and I'm talking to all of you as well. When you're just recording, when you know, like the previous content, when I'm not streaming, then that's really just me talking at the microphone because there's no one there besides me. We dropped some of the quests that we had here. We need to pick up the Green Warden again. Do I have a backlog of videos? Do you mean from like when I would record content beforehand and just put up the video, do I have a backlog that I put up over time? Usually what I did with my recordings is I would record one day and then those videos would be live the next day. I never really worked to get like a big backlog of stuff unless I was planning travel or vacation, and then sometimes I'd create a backlog that I could let stuff filter out over the days that I was going to be away.
How are ya?
The streams, they just go up as soon as the stream is done. The VOD is there. The VOD's there right now. I think you can rewind this and you can get back to the beginning of this one. So the VODs are great because they just live on YouTube once they're done.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Is It's a special skill to be able to play a game and converse with chat at the same time. It's different, and I don't know if everybody could do it. I think anybody could learn to do it, but it's challenging even for me to play this game and talk at the same time, and I'm well versed at talking, and I'm well versed at playing this game.
Safe
But then
travels.
marrying the two together and then facilitating conversations, it's hard to play the game well. But I think I'm improving. We're still forgetting to buff ourselves. We never have might up, so there's that. And the other thing, I become even more absent-minded when it comes to like the simple stuff, like, hey, let's pick up this quest. And then instead of picking it up, I just start to run out of town. So that's the kind of thing that I have to work on. Being able to talk and interact with you guys and just being less absent-minded about how I'm playing the game. Surprisingly, though, we haven't gotten killed yet, so it hasn't been all bad.
Have a good one.
Tim, we'll see you next time, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. The Tell Me When add-on, I have to write that down probably somewhere. Let's see, maybe I can open up OneNote. There we go. That'll work. Let me make a new page in my OneNote here. Tell Me When add-on. Check it out. There we go. Grab the quest. I grabbed the quest, right? No, I didn't. I walked right up to him and did not grab the quest.
See you later.
Our quest log is full. Oh, joy. Have I ever considered voice acting? I don't think that my voice is suited for voice acting. And if it was, it would just be a character who fits my voice, which... And I feel like to get into stuff like voice acting, you need to have connections, or you need to have gone to school and found connections. I don't think that someone like me, with my background, could necessarily break into voice acting. I would have to have someone who kind of got me in the door, you know what I mean? And I don't think I would enjoy that as much as what I do. I don't think I would enjoy that as much as what I do. It would be probably be a cool thing to do on the side a little bit. Yeah, like with voice acting, you'd have to have an agent. The agent would have to get you gigs. It seems it's like an acting job, kind of, right? It is an acting job. I don't think I would be able to thrive in that kind of environment. Because I don't think it would be chill. You might get onto projects that are fun, but you're going to get onto a lot of projects that are not fun.
For the Alliance.
And you're going to have to kind of grind and wade through that, I would think, to get the jobs in the voice acting spots you really want. I would do audiobooks. If I wrote my own books, I would audiobook my own book. That's probably the only way I would do it. Is if it was something that I had written. Which nobody wants. You don't want that. Ooh, mute was on. There's my mute key. We could go look for Saida's bag. We can grind on slimes for a while. If we want to do that. Or we could just go out to the Green Warden and take his quest. Jason, keep talking about that pizza, man. I keep getting reminded of the fact that I do need to eventually eat some more. That's the one negative thing streaming has done for me, is I haven't been eating enough while streaming. I need to eat more. I need to do some more protein shakes while I'm streaming. That would help me out a little bit. It's not a meal, but it's a supplement that could tide me over. Yeah, weight loss is not something that I want. Before I started working out, I was 6'4" and 150 pounds. And that was 18 years ago. So I have the kind of metabolism that will just shred calories. And if I'm not eating a lot, nowadays what that means is that, like, I just lose muscle mass. Which, for someone who's worked out for 18 years, you kind of get OCD about it. So, yeah. I need to eat more. You guys are going to keep talking about food now, aren't you? Is that what's going to happen? Is that how we're going to do this? The coffee is getting empty, and the coffee is getting to room temperature, even in the Yeti mug, which is supposed to keep it hot for like 8 hours, and it doesn't. It doesn't do that. Unless when you start with it, your coffee is scalding hot to the point where you can't drink it. Then it might keep it hot for 8 hours, but you'll only be able to drink it for 4 of those hours. Yeah, the coffee's empty, and I really can't have any more coffee until the D4 stream later. I gotta cut myself off. Whitney, that's just rude. That sounds so good. Now we're just being rude. Keep talking about all the delicious food. Yeah, crocolisk's just running up on us. Let's not run through here like this. Let's not do this. Let's do it a different way. I was planning to do the D4 stream at 7, which means I should probably get off here soon so I can chill for a little bit, get some chores done, and get some food in me. I haven't done any of my daily chores. I've been a bad boy. This is a little spot of trouble. I wonder if we can handle it though if we just push through it. We can heal if we have to. We do have a little bit of mana. Let's do a potion here. Let's get this guy stunned. He resisted the judgment. That was a bad time to resist. But I think we're gonna be okay. Dan, D4 is out for the people like me who were gullible enough to give Blizzard $20 more above like the $70 we already paid to play it yesterday. And if you own the base game of Diablo 4, you can't play it until the 6th. But if you wanted to fork over a crap ton more money to Blizzard, because who doesn't love doing that, you could play it right now. Yeah. But the base edition won't get you in. It's the deluxe and above. Yeah, it's the one that gets really expensive. That gets you in 4 days earlier than the actual launch. And we actually streamed a little bit of D4 last night. $105 to play early. Yeah, it was 80 for the base game and then 20 more. Activision, it's gotten really bad. It's gotten, usually back in the day you pre-ordered the game, you got early access. You paid the base amount of money for the game, you pre-ordered it, and because of your early interest, they would let you into the game early. Now you not only have to pre-order it, but you have to plop down a ton of money for the privilege of playing it when it actually comes out and not 4 days later. It's FOMO. They just capitalize on people's FOMO. We're gonna run away from this one. I feel like we've pressed our luck here enough, and I'm not making headway through here, so I have to find a different way around if we want to get to the slimes. We're gonna have to go a different way. Alex, oh, Warcraft 3 Reforged. I have wiped that from my mind. Oh, how awful was that? How awful was that? I remember being surprised when they announced it. I remember being more surprised when they announced when it was going to come out, which seemed very soon after they announced it. And then it just was so bad, and I was looking forward to it. I thought, this is going to be great. We're going to play this on the channel. It's going to be awesome. And it wasn't awesome by anybody's accounting of it. Brother Jerry, this chat's not going to get me killed. I'm going to get me killed. I can be smarter than this. I can be better. I'll never blame you guys for a death. That won't happen. Not only are you not going to be responsible for my deaths, but you guys are the reason why I get to be here and do this, so I'm never going to blame you guys. Auntie, I don't like pre-orders either. The culture of pre-ordering was from like a time period when there was limited physical copies. And so that was your fear of missing out back in the day, is like you were worried that the store was not going to be able to stock enough copies to get you the thing. And so you'd go to GameStop or FuncoLand and you would pre-order the game to guarantee that you could actually get one of the limited physical copies. But in a world where everything is digital download, pre-ordering doesn't make sense for the consumer. You're right, it just gives the corporation the money early. You know, they just want the money as soon as they feel like that ties you in. They feel like the less time you have to consider whether you're going to play the game, the less reviews you get to read, the less gameplay you get to see, the more likely you're going to just plop down that money and then you're stuck in. They just want to get you stuck in. Pre-ordering is where you pay for the game before the game is officially released. So any situation where you pay and the money comes out of your account and you own the game, but the game is not actually out to play yet, you can't log in and play it, that's pre-ordering. You pre-order it. Which made more sense when the thing was a physical copy, right? Now it doesn't make any sense. And they're like, well, you can download and install it early. That's good, right? It was good when internet speeds were typically very low, and it might take you 7 hours to download and install the game normally, but nowadays internet speeds are generally pretty quick for a lot of people. William, you say, what add-on do you download to help Classic Hardcore? There's the Hardcore add-on. Is that what you're talking about? This guy right here? So yeah, when you start a Hardcore character, you want to have the Hardcore add-on already installed. Lars says, yo Rambles, what do you think is the strongest class for hardcore? I really don't know, but if I had to pick the strongest feeling classes so far that I've played, we've played all of them and got them all killed. So the priest was super powerful, mainly because of Power Word Shield. Power Word Shield felt like it was going to let us run away from any bad situation we could possibly get ourselves in, and it felt like it was always going to absorb enough damage that we'd be able to leash the enemy. Even if it was multiple enemies, I just felt super strong on it. And the Paladin is kind of similar because we have our 5-minute cooldown on Divine Protection, which stops all physical and spell damage for 8 seconds. And so during that time we can't attack, but this is for running away. So Priest and Paladin, I feel like, have just a lot of survivability that makes them super strong for hardcore. especially if you're just getting your feet wet in hardcore and you want to be on a class that you think you want to have them live for a while, try to start with a priest. You can't bubble hearth, Red Robin, you can't. It's against the hardcore rules. For some reason, the one class specific thing that you can't do that's against hardcore rules is they don't want you to bubble hearth as a paladin. I don't really understand it, except it must just be so overpowered compared to anything that any other class can do. And I'm assuming that, does Power Word Shield Hearth count as bubble hearthing? Because Power Word Shield is pretty powerful too, and I feel like against some enemies you could get your hearth off and still be protected by Power Word Shield. Auntie says you would never die if Bubble Hearth was allowed. The bubble lasts 12 seconds and Hearthstone is 10. Divine Protection lasts 8 seconds. Blessing and Protection lasts 6 seconds. So, I don't know. So Alex, you can't bubble shield either, huh? You can't Power Word Shield Hearth. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it either. I feel like if it's in the class's toolset, you should be able to use it. I definitely feel like you could still get killed. It doesn't make you immortal. A couple of things, you know, your bubbles, if you're on the Paladin especially, your bubbles have cooldowns. So they're not always available. Also, your Hearthstone has an hour-long cooldown. So sure, you might get to save yourself one time an hour by bubble hearthing, but is that so significant? It's weird to me. Because the opportunity to do it is so rare, especially if you're actually using your Hearthstone, if you're not just saving it for that purpose. Same thing with your bubbles. Like, we use our bubbles to run away, and that seems to work just fine. I feel like it's overpowered that we can bubble and run away. Because an enemy's leash is never going to be super long. So I feel like, wouldn't you just always be better just to try to leash it anyway? Why just stand here and hearth out? Why not just run away, you know? Well, with the Paladin's bubbles, you can't attack while you're in them. See, we are protected from all physical damage, but during that time you cannot attack or use physical abilities yourself. Same thing over here, I think, with Blessing of Protection. You cannot attack or use physical abilities. On the Priest, yeah, you're gonna Power Word Shield and you're gonna fight. Definitely. Alex, that's a good point, man. Yeah, you can use your pet to just round up a bunch of enemies that are on you, let them die fighting, and you hearth out. How is that any different? You're totally right. And it's something only the pet classes can do, so how is that different from bubble hearthing? We'll see. It'll be interesting the kinds of stuff that they do on the official hardcore realm when it comes to rules like that, when it comes to those really obscure class-specific rules. I don't think those are going to be part of the official hardcore fresh start rules. How would they implement that? How would they make it so they could just disable your Hearthstone? Maybe part of the tooltip reads, you cannot attack or use your Hearthstone? That's really the only way I can think they could even do it. Guys, at some point, we must have gotten the bag. Oh, look at that. Hey, that's awesome. We've got 3 minutes left on our Hearthstone. Speaking of Hearthstones, we've got 3 minutes left on our cooldown, and I think what we'll do is we'll just fight these guys until the cooldown's up. Rogue shouldn't be allowed to vanish. Yeah, it's like, where do you draw the line? All these classes have really cool ways to get out of trouble. I feel like bubble hearthing is one of them. Using your pet to round up the enemies and having the pet die for you is something you can do. Every class kind of has a thing that it can do. There are some exceptions. The warrior, you don't have a lot of get out of jail free cards. You pop all your cooldowns. You pop retaliate. If you got a shield, you pop shield wall. But besides that, you don't have a lot of things to help you flee safely. Yeah, the pet could die, not get aggro, vanish could be resisted. Sure, definitely. You're saying because there's nothing anybody can do about the bubble, that's what makes the bubble more powerful? That kind of makes sense. It's a warrior, what do I expect? I expect it to get killed, yeah. I kind of get, they try to like make these rules to make the classes more balanced, like to artificially balance them for hardcore. Which in a way makes sense. On another level, it's completely unnecessary to do that. I think that because of the restrictions on your ability to use the bubble hearth, like the hour cooldown alone kind of negates it from being overpowered, in my opinion. Now, in a PvP situation, do I think rules should be slightly different for PvP? Maybe. Maybe it's just it's a thing that people do in PvP a lot. That's how I've always thought of it. I've never thought of bubble hearthing really as a way to get out of a PvE fight. But maybe I just lack imagination. There you go, Dan. Just make it so you can't hearth in combat at all. Right, why do you need to hearth in combat? Just make it so you can't do it. That would probably be an easy little trigger they could flip. Yeah, like I said, we'll see what they do. We'll find out soon how they're going to handle these little micro rules when it comes to the official server. I think some of them won't exist. Others will be changed, and will probably make a little bit more sense. Yeah, I like the not being able to hearth in combat. Red Robin, the bubble does not remove combat. There's divine intervention. I think that paladins have. I think it's in Wrath though, where you can take someone out of combat. You can divine intervention them. That removes them from combat and protects them. But that's I think that's a different ability. And I'm not sure if we get that ability in Classic Era. What zone has the best music? I mean, we were just in Ashenvale for a while, and the music there was absolutely gorgeous. And I feel like if that's not the top of the list, it's pretty high. Elwyn Forest music, also always good. But yeah, the Ashenvale stuff we were just listening to earlier was superb. Divine Intervention kills you to bubble someone else. Oh, I didn't know that they were sacrificing themselves like that when that happened. Okay then, well we're not doing that in hardcore. And let's go ahead and hearth back. Let's hearth back. We probably have inventory issues. We'll get the quest turned in. And then guys, I think I'm gonna have to get off stream for a while. I got an hour and a half to eat and do my chores and take care of some other things before I get back on later to play some Diablo 4. So if you guys are interested in checking out some Diablo 4, or if you just want to come hang out, we're going to be doing that around 7 o'clock. And I will put the scheduled stream up on the channel if you guys are interested.
You need something? What
See
can
you
I do
later.
for you? Off with you.
And thank you for being here, guys. This has really been a blast. It's been such a joy, and it was so unexpected that I enjoy this so much. And I'm grateful for you guys being here. It's crazy how many of you turn out. I just appreciate it so much. I can't say it enough, and I don't want to blush too much on stream with the cam on, so I can't talk about it too much.
Aye.
But thank you guys a lot for being here. I really do appreciate you.
Off with you.
And yeah, I think we'll leave it there. I think we'll park ourselves at the inn. Excuse me. And we'll leave it here for today, and we'll pick things up tomorrow morning around 9:45. And that's going to be the cadence, I think. I think I'm going to do 9:45 for the morning stream. That gives me time to get my boy to school and to walk the dogs a little bit and take care of some other stuff. And then I'll usually come back for the afternoon stream around 1 o'clock. That gives me time for lunch and to get a quick workout in. And then whenever I can, I'll get on and do evening streams, either of WoW or if we're playing things like Diablo, we'll do that in the evenings. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. And thank you guys again. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we will see you back here again very soon. Thanks for being here, guys. Bye for now.